We are on our way to Texas, and so I thought I would share with you how we unwinterized our RV.
Just picked up the motorhome from storage, and we are going to get it ready and unwinterize it and get it packed up and ready to go. All right, the next step is I'm going to hook up to the city water connection, and I'm just gonna be able to flush all the lines. We have antifreeze in all the lines, so we're gonna flush all that pink stuff out and change the filter. So let's start that. I'll show you inside. Now I got the city water turned on. I'm gonna flow water through here and get all that out of each of the things. And remember that I got the water heater is bypassed right now, so none of this will get inside the water heater. We'll do that here. As soon as we get everything cleaned out, we'll move to the water heater. We'll just run it for a minute, flip it over here to hot, get all that out of that line. Well, I just let them go for a minute to make sure it's all out. And I'll probably come back one more time just to cycle each one to make sure that indeed it's cleaned out. There's no residual stuff in there. We just replaced these heads. We have a video on that, replacing the faucets. Okay, move down here to the shower, and we'll see where this ends up. You can see all the green. This is gonna be a pain because I'm on a hill right now, so I'll have to clean the shower out when I'm done. Turn on the other side. You can see how much antifreeze came out of there. I'll have to clean that out here in a minute. And they'll both run for such. Should do it for the first round. Come here to the sink. Take the drain out there. While that's running, we can look at the toilet. You can see that there's been some stuff in there. They'll probably be cleaned out, but we'll flush that. That red comes out, but when we get the other water turned on, that'll be good. And those are the waters that we need to take care of. We'll next change the filter in the bathroom, which I'll show you, and then we need to turn back on the water heater. All right, under the bathroom sink, here's the water filter. The filter's out, but I guarantee that's got red stuff in it. So we're gonna take that out and dump it and then put it back in. To do that, we're gonna isolate it. We're gonna shut that valve off and shut that valve off to make sure that no water's gonna spray out on us. We'll shut those two off, and then we'll crack it and drain it. Okay, broke the seal with this wrench here, and then it's good to have some rags and have a bucket handy. And I'm gonna set you down for a second. A little pressure was built up in there, so we had a little water spill, but that's all right. We have a rag under there. See if I can do this with one hand without spilling it too much. All right, and you can see it right here. It's actually pretty clear, but still like to drain this thing. So we drain that in the bucket. You can see there's no filter in there now. I got to grab the filter, and then we'll put that in, and then we'll button it back up. Okay, we got the new filter in. Just gonna put it back together, and then we're gonna get a wrench up there, and we're just gonna give it a little, make it snug. And we're gonna clean up in here, and we'll turn both of those valves back on. You can hear it filling back up. Let's check for leaks around it. Got good water pressure, things are looking good there. A lot of air in the line still, pretty bubbly. I get that water heater hooked up, we'll have a lot more bubbles in there. All right, before I get ready to put water back in the system, I'm going to flush my water heater one more time. You can take out the plug here, and I bought this little unit here. I'll hook onto my hose and stick it in there and just kind of get some sediments out of the bottom of it, and hopefully make it so it'll last a little bit longer. So let me get that set up. All right, I'm just gonna stick this unit in there best I can. Turn it on. Get a couple sprays in there. We'll get it in there farther. Turn on and let it run for a minute. And I turn it around. Be able to flush that bottom out. Okay, we'll just let that drain out of there now. It's not too bad, got a little bit out of the first. kind of cloudy, so that'll help. And then we'll be able to introduce some water in it and start filling things up. After flushing the water tank, I went ahead and bought a new anode. See it right here. We'll put some Teflon tape in there and put it in the water heater, and that'll help with the longevity of the water heater, collect some of those sediments in here. All right, this is the anode that came out last year at the end of the season. You can see how pitted it is and ate up, and so I decided to get a new one. See the new one solved. The only thing that I don't necessarily like is it doesn't have this drain valve to help drain the water out of it, but I usually don't use that to drain. If I'm going to drain the tank, I'll pull the whole thing out. But there you go. So we'll replace that, put a new one in for the first of the year. They're not too much money. All right, we need to turn off the bypass for the water heater. And unfortunately, in this RV, they haven't had a good system. You'd think that we'd have just a door with a hinge. You can stick your hand in there and turn the valves. But unfortunately, I have to take this off. And then I've got valves right here that you can see. Got to turn this one back on. This one goes off, and this one goes on. So now water flows in, and it doesn't go through here, yet it flows in and flows in. So it's filling the water heater right now. I can hear it. They'll let that fill, and then I'll leave this off so we can check for any leaks under here, and then I got to check for a leak outside. Check for any leaks around these valves. No leaks. We're going to go in here and go ahead and we got about a half a tank of propane. We're going to go ahead and turn that on, the propane, and we're going to okay, the water heater's filling, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready to start the gas. So right here we're going to turn the gas on, and then we'll come out here and see if it's actually igniting. So we put the new valve in here. It's not leaking, but we know we got a lot of air, so I'm going to let some of the air escape here. Let it keep filling up. And you can see the flame in there, you can hear it. So it's actually working. Okay, all the air is out of that as much as you can. So all the air was out of that. Okay, we get a lot of air at first, because this is the hot water, remember? All that air needs to come out. Almost there. Here we go. And it's already getting warm. We also got the fridge, and the fridge runs on gas or electric. So we're going to go ahead and start it, and we're going to put it in a gas mode, and we're going to go verify that that is running, and you should be able to hear it outside and go see it as well. Oh yeah, you hear it. So in here's the fridge. I can hear the gas running in here, and it's in this tube right here where it's running. So we know that's coming down. We'll leave it on for a while and make sure the fridge is going to heat, cool off, and then we'll know that that's okay. And make sure the gas works on the... Hit this the first time. And it takes a second because there hasn't been gas in there all year. So let's just make sure they all light up. Whoop. Okay, so we know we got gas. The propane's working, that's good. If you come back here, this is where the main cold is. It's cold. In fact, it's really cold. So we know the fridge is working, stove's working, the water heater's working. We've got all the plumbing cleared. And so I think we're ready to go. There's a few times last season where we kept smelling a little propane, and so I want to double check for a leak. So I mixed in some water and just some detergent in here to make some bubbles, and we're going to go spray the line and double check. My suspicion is we put this in to run the barbecuer, and so my suspicion that could be coming from that. What we're going to do is just spray the lines, and it should, if anything's leaking, we should get bubbles come. Oh, right there, right here, the bubbles that are coming out, that's our propane leak. We've been smelling just a little bit of propane at different times, and so I'm glad we did this. We just need to get I need to get wrenches and tighten that up, and we'll see if we can get rid of that. This other side's going to be clean. Yeah, that looks good. The other thing you should do is check your smoke alarm. I go ahead and replace that every year. I could replace that take the battery out while it's in storage, but I choose to leave it in. But I'll go ahead and replace that and put a new in it, so I'll be set all year long. Okay, a couple more things we need to test. One is we're going to start the generator, make sure that's running okay, and then once it's running, we're going to pull the slides out and then lubricate the slides. Okay, we got that running. What we're going to do is lubricate all these tracks with some dry lubricant that we have. So this is the lubricant we use, liquid wrench. It's an RV drive lubricant for slide outs. Maybe twice a year I put it on there. On this one, here's the tracks here. I'm gonna just give it a coat. This stuff dries right away, so it's just a dry lubricant, so it comes on, kind of sprays. I'll go around and clean these with some cleaner, just the rubber seals to make sure they stay in and make sure there's no cracks. I'll go up on top. Oh, I gotta get a ladder. Maybe I can reach that. Nope, I'm gonna have to get a ladder for that one. My batteries are in this compartment. They usually stay pretty full. It's about 2/3, but every year I like to take them out and give them a good charge on my charger, get them back up to full capacity before we start the season. This cover comes right off. You can see my battery right here. You can hold two 6 volts, but I just have one 12 volt in here when I bought it. So disconnect the negative. I'll probably clean these terminals. You can see they're a little corroded. I'll get all that cleaned up. Check the fluid here in it, and then get her charging up. So make sure it's all disconnected and don't have to worry about that. Slide these over here. There's 3 of them there that need to be hooked back onto the positive terminal. Okay, so we got that off. Now we're gonna go in here and pop this off. Just gotta be careful. Do both sides the best you can. Gonna do an inspection and make sure there's enough water in there. That you have water and it's not dry. They're above the water is above the cell. I don't know if you can see that. So this side's good. Make sure you have safety glasses on. You don't want any of that in your eyes. And obviously wash your hands when you get done so it doesn't get on you as well. There's acid in here. Check that one out. That one is the same. It's above the level, so we'll call that good. Put that right back on, so that battery is good. So let's get the charger, and it has a couple of leads here. I'll hook it on the negative side, on the positive. Make sure we're on there real good, and then we'll go plug it in. All right, when you plug this in, it automatically comes on. It's a 12.1 battery. I want to do a slow charge, so I'll put it down here on the slow. It's on right now. It's 56% right now, so we'll just let that run. Get on standard. It's a standard battery, and we'll just let that run and get back up to 100%, and then we'll be good for the year. Meanwhile, I'll clean all those connectors up with a wire brush, get all that cleaned up, and we'll be good to go on the battery side. I'll show you when it's done. So I got my tool here, this battery cleaner tool. Pull it off, and it's just got a wire brush. And we're gonna go in here, and I'll start with this negative side. You can see I went ahead and put some gloves on to make sure that I don't get all this acid all over me. But let me set this down. And think you can see that. I'm gonna try to put a little towel under there to catch all this stuff. Get a better connection with it cleaned up. It looks pretty good. We'll put some battery grease on it. We've got this nasty positive terminal, which is pretty corroded. You can see that. So we'll get started on that one. Probably get a wire brush and be just as good. A quick check. It's probably been about 15 minutes and we're at 67%, so it's going up. We'll just continue that. Probably be 2 or 3 hours. All right, I got all the terminals cleaned up. You can see the ends here. Got those polished up. Now I've got a thing of this stuff, just a little pouch, a couple bucks, dielectric grease. I'll put those on rub that on each of the posts and the connectors, and hopefully that will prevent some of that buildup for next year. All right, that wraps up the battery. You can see they got the anchors put back together nice and clean. Check the fluid in there, make sure that didn't need to add any distilled water. Negative terminal is back on, cleaned up. Should be good for this year. I always like to start with a good fresh charge. Even though the generator will charge it up, I want to get a fresh charge before I start the new year. I never had a problem ever since I've done that. All right, gonna get ready to go camping. I'm just gonna do some cleaning.
We've been waiting around for too long for something to show. Same old places and faces of people with nowhere to go. But we're not like them, we are better, both you and I know. Grab your car keys and jacket, 'cause honey, we're ready to go. Let's get in the car and you'll drive. We're leaving tonight, away from these streets and the cold buzzing neon lights. Been keeping our heads above water, struggling and striving. We ain't gonna turn back this time, we'll just keep driving. You've got one hand on money, one hand on the steering wheel, worlds passing by outside. The flickering light of the white line.
One thing that annoys me, I don't know if you can see it. There's a bunch of bugs. Oh, there you go. See those bugs in there? So I'm gonna take this opportunity to get all those things out of there. They basically just unscrew half a turn, and you can see the junk. It's not actually bugged, like a little insulation. Maybe a few gnats, but we'll clean those clean up. Put those back in and check the rest of them. All right, before washing the outside and checking the awning, we're gonna go up on top and we're gonna check for any cracks or make sure the roof's in good order. Checking around here in the seals to make sure there's no cracks around any of the joints. I think we're okay on the top.
In the comments, let us know your favorite place to travel. As always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.